Hello, friends. Here again with Programming Better with Jeremy, a joyful journey through pleasant programming. Anyway, wanted to share with you a little bit longer video on object-oriented programming. Go ahead and share my screen so we can get started on the process. I wanted to show everyone what I use is a virtual machine. So I use the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager, and then inside that I run Ubuntu operating system. I usually give my system about half of its processors and about half of its memory, and I've got a internal hard drive and an extra hard drive, and I just throw about 20 gigs of storage on it. That's usually enough for the example operating systems that I go. So what this looks like then for my computer is, you can see it absolutely eats about half the computer, and when I start doing stuff, it eats even more of that. So anyway, here's what we have in the store for you today. In a previous video, I kind of did a brief introduction, kind of explaining what objects are and how objects and classes and stuff like that are all related. But I thought, okay, yep, that's nice. Who cares? Show me them fingers on the keyboard and actually make some things happen. So what I wanted to show you, I'm running the Eclipse IDE, and I will tell you I installed that by using the software installer built into Ubuntu. This is my area. I use the Eclipse workspace as my workspace, and then I've got a repo called Java Examples that I tie things into. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a new, oh come on, new, I'm having a hard day, right? New Java project, and let's call this one, let's just call this one Hello OOP, because that's really what we're trying to get into. Right now, this only exists in the Eclipse workspace, so I will go ahead and right-click on this, go to my team, share the project, and I've got my Java examples thing. I'll go ahead and click Finish, and it's all happy, and now I can start to do fun stuff. Okay, so I'll just use, let's go ahead and add a new package, and we'll just call this package simple, yeah, because it's, I mean, nothing, we're not going to do anything fancy in here. All right, so now let's do our first class, and I'm just going to call this one Hello World print statement. So for those of you that have never done Eclipse before, this little button right here drops in your print statement, or drops in everything but your print statement. So you can just click Finish. It opens up nice and neat, and I'll cheat and use the shortcuts. Tidy this up just a little bit to make it a little more compact. Control S, Control F11 to run this baby, and we see it says, Hello World. Now, that's great. That's your first. This is kind of like chapter 1, page 1 of most new programming books. Kudos to Brian Kernighan, who gifted the world with that little thing. Let's just make sure that we've got this all pushed up. So I'm going to make sure that the world can get to this. I'll do a git add dot, git commit -m. And we've got it pushed up. Let's go ahead and verify that right quick, just for our folks out in the world. You should know me already, computer. And nope, it does not. And it'll know me next time. Cool. What was the name of that repo? That is the Java examples repo. So let's come back here and let's just search for it right quick. Java examples. And we can see we've got hello OOP, go down into the package folder, and then we've got our source code here. And so it says hello world. Okay, I'll be sure to share the address of that repo. However, I will point out, I only use that, I only use private repos, but I freely share my repos with anybody that wants to collaborate with me or anything like that. Other than that, most of the code I do isn't too complicated. Okay, so here we are. Let's continue this process just a little bit further. So we did the first one, which is just a print statement. Now we're going to do a custom method call. And so I'll come in here. I'll do a new class, and I'll do, by the way, if you use a capital letter at the start of it, it doesn't complain. Custom method, include public side of void main, crank it up. Yeah, now this one is slightly different. I'm going to go back and I'm going to leave this as plain as possible. So I'm going to first call our custom method, and I'm going to lean on Eclipse to help me write it. But if you don't have Eclipse, you can just wait till the part of the video where I've got everything on the screen and then just copy that down. The end result is the same. The process to get there is sometimes slightly different. A little bit backwards. All right, so let's just call this hello custom. Let's call it hello from custom method. And this is a custom method, and I'm not going to pass it anything in. I'm not going to ask it to return anything. But when you mouse over it, it says, hey, this is undefined. And so it usually gives you the option. And it's not. There it is. Create it, and it automatically creates it for us. I'm lazy, so I'm just going to grab this from our previous project. I'm going to paste it in here, and then hello world from inside a custom method. Save it, run it. Oh yeah! Got to celebrate the small victories, right? Okay, so get that pushed up to the cloud. This one will do nicely. Oh, typing would be something I ought to get better at, right? And then we'll get push. And we see it pushed up. By the way, I have my caching credentials turned on. Jump over here to the old interweb, jump back up into here, and we can say, hello custom method is here, and we can see how that code is only slightly different. We've got the custom method call first, and then we define our custom method. We can see that we're not returning anything from our custom method. We're not passing anything into our custom method. And inside our custom method, we're just doing a simple print statement. There's a whole lot more details, that go into custom methods. We all ain't gonna worry about that right now. We are gonna move on to using an object based on a class in the same file. Okay, back we go. Back to the action. Let's do a new class, and I'm gonna call this hello from different class, same file. All right, and so we'll just keep this rocking here. All right, so we have this class, right? And this class starts here and it ends here. And so I'm going to come in here, and the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, I lean on Eclipse. It just makes my life a little bit easier. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say hello class definition. That's the definition that we're going to use for the class. And then adjust this right quick. There, that's more my reality. And then I'm going to call it our object. So what we're saying is, well, let me just finish typing, right? One thing at a time, try to do it well. And it's going to be like, hey, I don't have that. This time, I'm just going to come down here. And so now we've got a class definition. Now I'm going to do something right quick. I'm just going to do, and this is what they call a default constructor, meaning whenever we create an object, now this is how we create it if we don't tell it anything else in here that we're passing in or anything special like that. So now I've got an object called our object. It's based on a class definition, hello class definition. And now let's use our object. And so we'll just do our object dot say hello. Hopefully this looks ridiculously familiar. Oh, hello from custom method. Let's say hello from class definition. Yeah, okay. Now let's just lean on this a little bit more. Create a custom method in this class, and so here this is. And so laziness just abounds. Oh, too quick on the keys, right? Now we've got our default constructor. We've got our method definition. Notice how this public void say hello from class definition. This little method looks an awful lot like this little method. So anyway, that is by design. We come back here. Let's just read through this right quick. Like I said, I use packages. Packages can kind of be thought of as like little folders that we use to keep things kind of nice and separated and tidy. This is the class that we defined when we were making the new class. And we said, hey, this is the one that's supposed to include the main methods. This is where it starts, this is where it stops. And everything stays nice and tidy inside there. Now, we've got one line that says, hey, I want you to use this definition to create a new object. And then we also say, I want this new object to be using this new definition. So, and we say, here are the specifics of how we want that done, like if you have any special instructions or anything like that. And so once we create and define our class or our object, then we use our object, and anything in the class definition we now have access to. So our object dot say hello from class definition. Well, here's the class definition, and here's where it actually says hello. And so this is just kind of I wanted to show you how to get this started and have a little bit of fun with it. So with that, make sure this puppy goes. It says, we should add this to clarify. And now let's get this pushed up to GitHub again. Oh, check this action out. This little dot, let's see if we can make it focus on this. Notice there's a little icon here saying, yay, good to go, yay, good to go, yay, good to go. This one's got a little asterisk here saying, I'm not so sure about this. That's actually a question mark. So you pop back here, git add dot git mid shim added a and now we do git push. I cached my credentials, makes my life a little bit easier. And we bop back here. When I click this button, it's going to refresh the page. And now we can see same class, same file. And here's all that hard work that we just slaved away forever on. It is safe on the interwebs. And we go back here. It doesn't seem to recognize that think life is better yet. So did that finish? Yeah, get add, get commit, get push should have worked. So it'll link up here in a little bit. Now I'm going to add one more. Oh, yep. Hey, as soon as I started doing stuff, it figured it out. So again, we'll do a new class. This time things are going to be slightly different, slightly more complicated. I do apologize for that, but I want to show you what it looks like when we've got two different folders. So I'm going to say hello custom class first file. And this is the one where I'm going to include the public static void main. This is going to be a public class, and this is where we are. This is basically the client. This is the one that says, "Hey, I'm going to need some stuff done." So I'm ridiculously lazy, so I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to pop over here, and then I'm going to paste this. Now, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to say separate file, copy that, and then just our other object. And now we've got red squiggles of doom. And if you run it, you get this nasty little warning, and yes, let's save it, and it says errors exist. Well, I mean, how fatal can they? Oh no, red of death. It did not go. Okay, so now I'm going to lean on Zoom. It says, hey, did you know you could just create a class called hello class definition separate file? And so you can see hello custom class first file, and now it's going to come in and it's going to say use this package, use this name, and finish, and life is just good, like we figured this out. Laziness. Wait a second. So we created it, but I'm going to go ahead and add a default constructor. You don't have to do this. Java has a default constructor baked in. I'll show you an example with that later on. But that still does not answer this. It says, hey, say hello from class definition. Let's rename this in a different file. Okay, so it says, believe it or not, that long of a name for a custom method, it says, yeah, I don't have that on the books. So we just create it. We get here, and I'm actually feeling too lazy to change tabs, so I'll just type. Okay, yep. And so now we can see this is our file, this is our main method, this is the code that we're running, and we can run it. And because I've got this class, which is a public class, in the same package, I can now come back here and I can just say, hey, I want you to use this definition, and then I want you to use custom methods baked into that definition, and life is great. Okay. I think this is a good place to stop. I feel like this is like the basic, some of the basic fundamentals. So I do have this little bit longer example that I want to go do, but I figure like this is a good place to stop this one. And so we're going to go ahead and stop this here, and I'll get this other part taken care of a little bit later. Okay, so with that, I say thank you all for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us for Programming Better with Jeremy. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or good one-liners, any way that I can improve the quality of videos or anything like that, please go ahead and share that with me in the comments. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful day.